We're back on the Gwazi speculation train again. This time, we actually did get an update on the status of the coaster from the park, and arguably, this was not a good update. It appears more work needs to be done on Iron Gwazi to get the coaster ready to open. But once again, some of this is very suspect. Today, I'm going to be analyzing what was said in this Iron Gwazi update from Busch Gardens officials. I'll also be updating what I said in my last Iron Gwazi video. I still stand by most of what I said in that video, but some people in the comments did provide a little bit of information that changed my perspective a little bit on the reasoning of that video, so I'll also be talking about that. Also, with this new information, at the end of the video, I'll be giving you guys my official prediction on when I actually think Iron Gwazi will finally freaking open. So make sure to watch all the way to the end of the video for that. And before we get into all of that, I greatly appreciate it if you could like this video, as that is the easiest way to help out the channel. Also, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel as well. I post tons of awesome amusement park content, including speculation content like this, so if you enjoy this video, make sure to subscribe. Now, with all that being said, let's dive into some of the new information we've just learned. This past weekend, we were able to receive some new information about Iron Gwazi from a park official who spoke at the Texas Thrill Seekers event at the park. What we learned is that the park does not have a set opening date for Iron Gwazi at this time. I know. They did say that they did bring some people in to continue track work last week, which is kind of bizarre because the ride has been testing for over a year now. Anyways, all they said is that doesn't mean Iron Gwazi will be opening anytime soon, but they are getting it ready to prepare for an opening. Hooray. Another detail they mention is that they are on good terms with Rocky Mountain Construction, and the team at RMC wants to see the ride open, so that's good to hear at least. In regards to when they'll choose to open it, the official mentioned that this is a great ride. They want to make big noise when they open this coaster, so that means there's not likely going to be a surprise opening anytime soon. Also, the official said that they'll also choose to open it when it makes sense from a business perspective as well. They also stopped most work on the coaster, but they have since continued working on the final touches on the attraction. One more thing that has been confirmed is that workers from RMC were caught installing some extra metal to the support structure of the coaster. So that is another update as well. So what does this really mean? Well, obviously means it won't ever open and we're all doomed from riding this coaster.
We're all doomed!
Just kidding. However, what this does tell us is Busch Gardens is playing it by ear like I mentioned in the last video, and they will just play this one out for the time being. I thought it was interesting how the official used the words track work when track work appears to be complete on the coaster. Maybe there's something we don't know about, but in all honesty, I think he was just saying that they were working on the coaster. Him mentioning they are on good terms with RMC makes me think the liens are not a factor in their decision to delay Gwazi until further notice. Talking about how it lines up from a business perspective likely means there is no point in opening the ride right this second, more on that later. The support structure being worked on indicates to me they just need a little bit of extra support due to the Florida heat on the wooden structure. I don't think this is anything to shout at, so take it how you will, but it definitely is of some importance. Now, there's a couple things I'd like to address toward the business side of things. First, I wasn't really aware that the staffing situation is as bad as it is at Busch Gardens Tampa currently. Like, I knew it was bad, but not that bad. I've heard that only the main attractions and restaurants are open right now, so they are on life support in terms of staffing. I've heard some rumors that they are only limited to one train on some of the coasters because they just don't have the staffing to sustain the speed to run more than one train right now. The park has also been pretty crowded lately as the summer season has been kicking in, which is causing a lot of bad reviews for the park. Adding Iron Gwazi to the mix would obviously not help this issue. The demand is already too high for the park right now, so it would be stupid from a business perspective to open Iron Gwazi right now. Also, I think structural issues could be a candidate in the extended delay of this coaster with the new information that we have. However, like I mentioned earlier, I think this is a minor issue that just needed some fine tuning. The issue of liens being filed against the park should be pretty much thrown out the window by now. I think the ultimate reason for Busch Gardens not opening Iron Gwazi is the staffing issues that the park has currently, and the business perspective comes in with that. This may help the park out a little bit, but like I mentioned in my last video on this topic, this is not a good impression on pass holders. The ride is sitting there and it has been for 2 years now, and Gwazi was there before that, so this is a bad look. If I was stuck in this situation as a pass holder, I probably wouldn't look to renew my pass, but that's just me. Make sure to let me know what you would do down in the comments below. Anyways, let's get on to the big question here. When will Iron Gwazi finally open? I think there's multiple possible answers to this question. Unfortunately, I don't see Iron Gwazi opening for this summer, due to the reasons I mentioned with staffing and demand being sky high right now, so I just don't see it happening, unfortunately. Usually, when mid-September hits in Florida, the crowds die down a bit right before the Halloween season, which is the first period of time I could see Iron Gwazi opening. Demand is bound to decrease by this point, and it would make a lot of sense from a business perspective to open the coaster in a dead spot of the year. This would obviously make people want to come travel down to get to the opening of Iron Gwazi, and would help to encourage pass holders to renew their passes. It would also cause a lot of buzz in the industry in a time that's otherwise pretty quiet. The next time I could see Iron Gwazi opening, if it doesn't open then, is January or February 2022. Right after the holiday season, crowds in Florida died down again. So this would also be a good spot to open the coaster, to help get more locals and tourists out to the park. After that, the next possible time I could see this ride opening would probably have to be, unfortunately, sometime in spring or early summer of 2022. I can't really imagine them not opening it any other time, other than the ones I mentioned or somewhere close to the times that I mentioned, because it just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for them. But my prediction right now is that the coaster will open in February of 2022 or possibly early March. This is really disappointing to a lot of people, but it probably would be the best business decision the park could make at this time. Unfortunately, coaster enthusiasts only make up a small portion of the park's clientele, so it's a rough situation for us who have tracked the ride for years on edge. Overall, this is a pretty disappointing update. On the bright side, Velocicoaster just opened like an hour down the road, so Florida coaster enthusiasts still have that to be excited about. Plus a slew of other attractions opening in 2022. I don't love the idea of delaying a coaster this long, but if it has the park's best interest in mind, I guess we should show a little understanding, as frustrating as it may be. But what do you think about this update? Are you mad about this? Is this just unsurprising to you at this point? Do you agree with my reasoning? Make sure to post all those thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, and if you're new here and like this kind of stuff, make sure to subscribe. Now, with all that being said, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.